So in this video, we're going to do two things. We're going to simplify expressions by combining like terms and by using the distributive property. And then we're going to evaluate those expressions when we have a certain number that is represented by a variable. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's start with this. Can you multiply 8 times 99 in your head? Well, at first this might seem difficult, but let's change the problem to this. Let's say we have 8 times, and instead of 99, let's make it 100 minus 1, because that's what 99 is. We could take 8 times 99, or if we use the distributive property, we could take 8 times 100, which is 800, minus, and then 8 times 1, which is 8. And 800 minus 8 is 792. And that would be the same thing that we would get if we multiplied 8 times 99 in our head. What we did is we just used what is called the distributive property. And we took the 8 times the 100 and the 8 times the negative 1. Let's see how this applies to algebraic expressions. Here we have 8 times the quantity 2x plus 3. But I can't multiply those together because I can't take 2x plus 3. But what I can do is I can multiply the 8 times the 2x, which is 16x, and then I can take 8 times 3, which is 24. And so this simplifies to 16x plus 24. Same thing in this example here. I can't take 3x minus 4 because those are different. Those are not like terms, but I can do this. I can take negative 7 times 3x, which is negative 21x. And then I could take negative 7 times negative 4, which is positive 28. And so if I use the distributive property, both of those expressions can be simplified with the help of the distributive property. Let's talk about adding like terms. Suppose you have 2 apples and your friend has 3 bananas, and you put them together. What do you have? Well, you still have 2 apples and 3 bananas. You can say you have 5 fruits because that's what they have in common. They're both fruits. But you can't say you have 5 of anything unless you put down what the bananas and the apples have in common. This relates to what we're going to be talking about in algebra when we have what we call like terms. If I have 2 x's and 3 x's, well, those are like 2 apples and 3 apples. If I had 2 apples and 3 apples, I'd have 5 apples. In this particular case, 2 x's and 3 x's gives me 5 x's. For part B here, 5 w's plus 11 w's, that gives me a total of 16 w's. And what I'm doing is I'm just combining like terms. It's a little bit different in part C because 8A's and 4B's I can't put together. That's like the bananas and the apples. But what I can do is this. I can take the 8A and combine it with the negative 2A. Well, that's 6 A's. I can also do this. Take the 4 B's and add it with the 3 B's, and that's 7 B's. And this is my final answer. I can't put those together because the 6 A's and the 7 B's are not like terms. So let's go ahead and see how this is going to play out in our assignment for today. First thing I'd like to do is simplify this expression by using those two things that we just talked about, using the distributive property and combining like terms. I'm going to start by using the distributive property with the 2 and the 3x minus 7. I can't do anything with the 5x, so that stays by itself, but 2 times 3x is 6x, and 2 times negative 7 is negative 14, plus the 8. So what I've done is I've just gotten rid of the parentheses by distributing the 2. And so now I want to simplify this further. I can simplify anything that have like terms. I can add together. For example, the 5x and the 6x, that makes 11x. And then the negative 14 and the positive 8, that's like 14 bad guys and 8 good guys. 8 good guys wipe out 8 of the bad guys, and I have 6 bad guys left over. So this simplifies to 11x minus 6. But then I want to evaluate this expression when x is equal to 2. So that just means I'm going to put a 2 in for x and figure out what this is equal to using the order of operations. So I'm going to start with my multiplying. 11 times 2 is 22. And then 22 minus 6 gives me my final answer, which is 16. Very good. Let's take a look at another example. Again, we're going to get rid of the parentheses first by using the distributive property. I can't do anything with the 3, so I'm just going to keep the 3 there. But I'm going to take the negative, this is a negative 2, because the negative sign is included with the 2. Negative 2 times 4x is negative 8x. And then negative 2 times positive 5 is negative 10. So I just used the distributive property to get rid of the parentheses, and now I'm going to combine like terms. Well, I only have one x. That's a negative 8x. So that has to stay the same way it is. I can't combine it with anything. But my 3 minus 10, well, 3 minus 10 is negative 7. So this is my simplified expression, which helps me when I evaluate this expression when x is equal to negative 2. I'm going to take negative 8 times negative 2 minus 7. And negative 8 times negative 2, that's a negative times a negative, which is positive 16. And 16 minus 7 gives me my final answer of 9. Let's do one more example. This one's a little bit different because it doesn't look like there's a number right here. But 5 minus this expression means that there is a 1 right here. 5 minus 1 times that expression. So I'm not distributing the 5. What I'm going to do is keep the 5 where it's at, but I'm going to take this negative 1 and distribute the 1, the negative 1. Negative 1 times x is negative x, and negative 1 times 4 is negative 4. So if I combine like terms, my negative x will stay a negative x, and then my 5 and negative 4 gives me a positive 1. This is my simplified expression. But then when I evaluate this expression when x equals 5, I'm going to have a negative x is 5 plus 1. And negative 5 plus 1 gives me my final answer, which is negative 4. There you have it. We are doing really 3 things today. We're combining like terms, we're using the distributive property, and then we're evaluating each expression when x or the variable is a certain number.